Okay, hey everybody, welcome to this evening stream. This evening we're going to be taking a look at the latest starter game, which has been a part of the update, which is Crayta, which is our Tycoon starter game. So we did touch upon this in the previous stream where we were showing all the things that have come with this update, but we figured it'd be nice to actually, do a full stream dedicated to creating in this starter game. So we'll show you a couple of little bits, tips and tricks here and there, as well as including global leaderboards. So a lot of people have been really excited for the global leaderboards that we've added. So we'll show you how you can set those up. And as always, if chat has any suggestions for anything they'd like to see us build in the game, then do let us know. The mods will be on hand to do their best to sort of get those in front of us if I miss chat. But yeah, it'd be interesting to sort of do this as a bit of a group build project. So I'm going to be working with Adam this evening, and we've gone to the old sort of multi-cam overlay because that's been really popular. So Adam, do you want to say hello?
Hey everybody, looking forward to this one.
Yeah, cool. So as always, if you've got any questions, do let us know. As I say, the mods will do their best to answer them, or we'll try our best to see those the questions in chat and answer them as we go along. So here we are in Crayta, and as always, it's nice and simple to start with. We will just go in and create. Oh, take a second. Okay, and then we'll go across, and here we see our new Tycoon starter game. Okay, so let's give this a name. So this is going to be using the Sci-Fi pack again. So obviously our Sci-Fi pack is released. We've got a whole new bunch of assets and things to play with. So we figured it'd be nice to incorporate them here. The name I'm going with, I think it's one that got suggested actually in the previous stream. But we'll call this Moon Miners. So we're going to sort of set this on some moon. Maybe it's an alien moon. Who knows? Let's pick a. I think this one will kind of work as a bit of a bit tropical, but it's kind of got the camp idea. So we'll have sort of bases, which is where you do all of your kind of the tycoon areas are, and then we'll build an alien planet around it. As I say, we'll just sort of have fun with it, and as always, as I said before, do let us know if you have any suggestions, and we'll try and build those things into it as we are going. So it's one part of the stream is obviously we're going to be building this tycoon game. But it's worth noting, if you stick around to the end of this stream, we are going to be kicking off our Sci-Fi jam. So basically, same as how we had this summer jam not too long ago, we're kickstarting the next one now, which will be the Sci-Fi jam. So at the end of the stream, we'll announce the theme and run through some of the details around and how this one's going to run. It's going to be slightly longer this time, so you've got a bit more than just a weekend to get your games together. So to say, stick around to the end of the stream and make sure you sort of keep an ear out for that. Right, I'm going to make sure Adam's with me. So
that'd be nice.
That would be nice. Let's find my game, Moon Miners. And let's share that with Adam.
I'm coming in.
Cool. All right, okay. So once Adam's here, we'll give this a quick preview just to show everyone the sort of the starting point for this. So it's a tycoon game, so the idea is players will work their way up over time, earning money, buying sort of a slightly larger area to sort of work with, and therefore increase the amount of money they get, and sort of exponentially over time unlock more and more. Each player gets a specific set area, so as you can see here, this one has got my name on it, and if we go over to Adam's, so this is Adam's over here. If I try and purchase one of these desks, it's going to tell me over on the side that this is not my office. So obviously, I think the working idea to begin with in this is that it's a office environment. So you're literally building up like a tycoon, like a business. But we're going to twist that a little bit into a bit of like a mining tycoon. Right, let's buy a desk. Okay, so now we've bought this desk, we see that I've lost my 1,000 start coins, but it's going to start processing on this desk. Okay, and then when that hits 100%, when that bar goes all the way across, we're going to see that gets us 1. Okay, so that's 1 resources in this desk. And it's going to keep going until I think the default it sets is 10. So once it's got 10, that'll be it full. And at that point, I have to come along and collect what it's gathered. Head over to the vending machine. Okay, and I get this sell page here, so I can hit this button up here to sell that 1 resource, get my 100 coins back. Okay, so what's kind of special to this game compared to a lot of the other ones is it's actually going to run with a kind of UTC sort of a universal time logic behind it. So when you log out, what will happen is it will keep going. The game will keep going. So it will timestamp when you left. The next time you log in, it will work out at what point all of these collectors or whatever you want to call them will be. So this one has 3 now. I'm going to press F5 and return to the editor. Okay, and the next time we see that we go into preview, we'll actually see that that one should be full. By then it should have hit its 10 limit. And that's because in the background, the way you can think of it is it's always persistent. It's always ticking over. So if anyone's played Tumbleweed Ridge, it's basically the same logic that's running with the way that the crops will grow. So if you return to the game several hours later, a lot of your sunflowers and pineapples and various things will have actually grown. So start to explore that side of the persistent kind of areas within Crayta. Adam, do you want to tell us what you're planning to do kind of during this stream?
No idea. No, I can't say that, can I? I've got to make the environment, I think. So we're going to turn this into some sort of alien moon, as you alluded to earlier. So I'm going to be adding a space skydome as the first step. Then starting to build out a little bit like we started doing last time, but I'll try and be a lot more detailed this time. So try and make it properly like a moon settlement. So the areas where we're building our Tycoon stuff is going to be like some sort of space base, and then around that alien plants, spaceships and things. Maybe use my smooth path package for a spaceship flying around.
Oh, that'd be cool actually. Yeah, we've got the that nice satellite mesh, which would look quite nice as well. Cool. So Gil's saying longer time frame this time should produce some killer games. So yeah, so with the game jam, I think the idea is we want to give people a bit longer to sort of put these games together, but still have that enforced deadline to really kind of set that kind of end point in which people kind of force people to throw things together that little bit quicker, and get ideas fleshed out a bit sooner. So if anyone's here for the first time and you don't know what Crayta is an accessible and collaborative game development platform which is exclusive to Stadia. It's available for free on Pro, or it can be purchased through the Stadia store. And basically what we're showing here is how Adam and I, so we're both together in the same instance, we're actually going to go through and create a game together in real time. It should be quite fun. So yeah, as I say, as always, do let us know any questions in the background. Oh, looks like Adam.
We've just been joined by Sean.
We have.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hello. I think we have. Do you want to activate your camera again, Adam? I think.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I think it changed the call.
It's shuffled things around a bit.
Just 1 sec. Need to open a window. It's boiling in here.
Cool. Okay, we'll get Adam's camera back.
Hello, I'm back.
In a moment. Oh, you're back now.
I'm back.
Okay.
Sorry for the delay. Okay, Sean, I hope you heard my plan because you're part of it.
I did. I'm going to moon this place up.
Okay, cool.
Okay, you just have to bear with me while I get Adam's camera back in.
Oh, sorry. Have I messed everything up now?
Okay, I think Sean did.
Oh.
I accept full responsibility.
Okay.
Okay, right, you have to bear with me 1 sec. The false start.
Uh-oh, sorry. We've ruined everything now, Sean.
Oh, no.
Should not have done this. Why did you join?
I can't believe we've done this. It's all right. Adam's a black screen's okay.
That's probably better.
People explicitly wanted to see Adam. Right. Let's just switch to this one for a second.
I think this will be my first time actually using space props, so I'm quite excited.
Put lights in the trees, Sean. It's the best way to make it look alien.
I love trees and lights.
Oh no. How much have I messed this up, Russ?
It's okay. It's okay. I'm working on it.
Say you. I'm the one that joined in after the stream started.
Well, I'm going to blame Russ actually, because he said if you want to come along, I'll just add you to the call, which is what I did. So it's his fault.
I could live with that.
Okay, right.
Let's start building stuff, so by the time he comes back, we're like, here's one we made earlier, and it's an amazing game.
And ta-da!
Go, Sean, go. Got like 2 minutes.
Okay, right. I think. Yeah, this looks. Ta-da! Right. Oh, apologies for that. Scroogle, I'm okay with seeing Russ in both camera slots. I just duplicate my camera across the two. Okay, so you can see in that short break actually how quickly we can start making the world. Oh, I forgot we had this moon voxel. That's been in the build.
Yeah.
For a
Isn't
while,
that
actually,
useful?
how
It's been
useful
here
is
ages,
that?
yeah.
Well, that kind of makes perfect sense now for this. So awesome. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is, while the guys kind of set up this interesting environment, is I'll show you the various templates and things that make this starter game up. So if you're looking to use this and start tweaking your own sort of gameplay into it, there's not very many templates to it, and it's relatively straightforward and ready to basically be expanded with your own ideas and thoughts. So let's go up here. So we should see that we have there's these three here that are, sort of have Tycoon before them. So Tycoon area. If I go to that template, you'll see that that is the area that you get on the floor. So that's the space the players get. So any changes you want to make across all four of the areas, your best bet is to make them here in this template, because if you start changing all the ones individually in the world at the beginning, you'll kind of get to the point where they're all slightly different from each other. So it's best to always work in the template, unless you want one of the areas to specifically be different. But obviously you can't guarantee which player is going to get which area. So yeah, I think for a balance point of view, you're always better off making sure that the four areas in the game remain the same. Okay, this comes with a couple of scripts. I think if you wanted to add any slots, so we see we've got these 1 to 8 slots, which are basically these locators around the edge. All you'd want to do is change the slots that you can see down here, this slot array. So if you add any more, you'd kind of want to add them there. Start playing with that sort of thing. We have Tycoon Buyable. Okay, so this is a buyable item. The default one we see here is this sort of plain office desk with the UI on top. So the writing here has actually come from a piece of in-world UI. Okay, and again, there's a sort of a script on here which just controls the various things around this. So the message that you get, calling it a desk for being for rent. So obviously we'll update that for our version. The currency you buy it with, and then also the thing that you buy when you purchase this. So the buy template in this case is Tycoon Updatable. Okay, and if I go grab that, we see that we get basically the same mesh, but now it's got the computer on top. The UI has changed. It's become this sort of screen on the computer. And it controls here stock time, so how long it takes for it to gain one of its stock, the maximum, so 10, the stock it's going to get, and a few various bits and bobs around there. So it's all kind of set in templates and properties, which again makes it really easy to jump in, take your own version, break the link to the template, sort of retemplate a version of your own choosing. If you want to go with sort of just changing the default one, then I'll show you how you can do that now. So Tycoon Buyable. I think the premise for this game, I was thinking before, is basically this is going to be like a mining camp that's mining sort of precious rocks and things from the earth, from the planet, the moon that we're on. So this first one will probably be a bit like a computer, and we can kind of imagine that it's controlling a mine or some sort of drill that's off in the distance somewhere, but at least here we've got the kind of computer that's giving us the feedback. So straightforward changes here. So we just changed the mesh asset on the parent, which is this whole desk mesh itself. Okay, and we've got this nice sci-fi version of the desk, which gives us basically the same sort of idea, but it's just slightly more on theme. Okay, next thing I'm going to want to do is change where this UI sits. Okay, so for now, I'll just throw this up here. And I don't know if Sean fancies stretching his UI legs and maybe
That sounds pretty exciting.
throwing in some nice, much shinier UI. So Tycoon Buyable has basically just got a UI on it, which is just black text on a transparent background. So
I'm sure I can make that nice.
anything you can think of to make that nice would be good. Right. So that basically set that one up. I think we'll leave that one as that for now. It's all got everything we'd need. So what we want to do now is change the updatable. Okay, cool. So same again, the mesh parent Tycoon updatable is our computer desk. Okay, but now obviously we see we've got this computer floating in the way and we don't really want that to be there as it is. So we can actually remove that computer. And now let's move this bit of UI to make it look like it's actually part of this desk here, which I think would be look quite nice. So let's put that there. Let's sort of get it roughly centered. Okay, and then I think go 70-50. That should look a bit better. Okay, cool. I think that's going to be close enough. But yeah, that gives us an idea of how that can now look like that's actually part of that computer screen. Editing. Okay, let's have a look at what we've got here. So, oops. So have you changed the size of the areas?
I have, yeah. Have we got
Okay.
some?
Got some Zed fighting.
Got some fun.
Yeah, that's fine. I could fix that quickly.
They need to be that much bigger. No, I can probably deal with this.
Yeah, okay. I'll leave that with you. I was just going to extrude out, but yeah, for anyone who I guess has this sort of problem themselves, so Zed fighting occurs when you've got two sort of voxel materials or voxel meshes occupying the exact same space essentially. So all you need to do is very, very slightly just move one out of the other one, because obviously the engine doesn't really know which one to render, so it attempts to render both of them on top of each other, which is where you get this flickering effect. So if you ever see that, you either need to delete one of them, or if you just move one slightly offset from the other, that should fix that issue. Okay, so while you're doing that, I won't preview just yet. But what I will do is I'll move on to set up some leaderboards. What is going on in the background? Just see.
Oh, it's the only thing I'm good at.
Is this classic Sean walling as in?
The Sean wall.
Nice. Cool. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, get it. So it's like its own confined environment. Okay, so what I want to do is set up the leaderboards. So if I go to the community tab, we'll see that we've got, I'm not sure if it's a new leaderboard or if it's one that's just been set up to work with the global leaderboards. I think it must be new. So Leaderboard 3D is a Crayta sort of stock package that you can install. Okay, and I guess this can be used with your own inbuilt logic. So if you didn't want to use this for a global leaderboard, it's actually quite a nice sort of template to use to put your own sort of scoreboards and things together in world. So let's find Leaderboard 3D. And for now, I'll just place this near the shop. Okay. So here we see it's a sort of this nice game screen sort of mesh with this UI on top of it. Okay, so if we look at what this has come with, it's come with this screen child. Okay, and then it's the screen child that has this script on it. And this is the script that we kind of, where we define the things that will get this to work as a global leaderboard. Okay, so the first property here is score is time. So if you check score is time, what it will do is it will actually format the seconds it gets into a readable time format. So hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds. The leaderboard name is the name of the leaderboard as defined in the companion site, and I'll jump over to there in a second and show you how to set that up. Okay, leaderboard title is the title that actually appears on screen at the top. So for this, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so we're tracking who's made the most money. So each time players sell something in the shop will increase their total money earned, and then that will be the basis of our leaderboard. So most money earned. Okay, max entries. Let's say that's set up to 10. We'll leave it as that. So it's only going to return the top 10 in this case, and then the message it displays when there's no entries. Okay, so if there's nothing, if no one's recorded a score yet, that's what's going to appear. Right, so as I say, we're going to change. We don't want a high score necessarily, but we need to go and set up a leaderboard for this game. So if I just jump over to the companion site. So from here, obviously, so this is available at developer.crayta.com. Okay, if you go over to the companion site, which is a link up at the top of the screen, that's going to take you to this page, which basically reflects the play page of in-game. And if you go across to create, okay, you might need to log in at this point if you're not logged in, but it should just use your Stadia Google account. You'll see all of your games available here, as well as being able to upload images and stuff. If you find the game that you're working on, so in this case Moon Miners, okay, it's going to set me to this page where I can do all sorts of different things alongside changing the details, the cover image. Leaderboards is here. So if I click leaderboards, okay, this is where I'm going to need to define my leaderboard. We'll give it a name. We'll give it the name of most money. Okay, so this is the name, this leaderboard name I've just defined it. That's what we need to put into the game to allow it to hook back to here. Okay, ordering. So is the lowest value or the highest value better? Because obviously in a time trial, you want the lowest value to be better, so the fastest player around the track. In this case, we want the highest value to be better. So keep the player's highest value and obviously return in that order. And the score type. So there's a couple of different types here. You can pick it as seconds or number, and in this case, obviously, we'll leave it as number. Cool, so if I hit that now, we see that we get this scoreboard appear with no entries. So this is a place that you can come and actually check out your leaderboard once you get some records on it. So here, you can reset and remove all the scores. So if you change your game logic and want to restart, then you can do that from here. Or you can delete the leaderboard. As I say, all this is just a really good place to come in and check up on the way the leaderboard stands outside of the top 10 or whatever you've got the in-game be defined as. Okay, so let's just get that most money. Okay, we'll return back to game. So if I go down to my screen and I set that, let's paste that in. Okay, so most money is now the leaderboard name. So this is now going to know to look at that specific leaderboard. So now we've got the leaderboard ready to display data. We're going to need to adjust our game to actually record when sort of scores happen, or when a player ends a race or anything like that. So the way I'm going to do it now is kind of one way of doing it, but obviously there's lots of different ways that you can approach it. It really depends on the style of game you're going for. In this case, I'm going to actually have a sort of a score tracker in game that will save and load a user's score, and then whenever that saves, it'll also update the global leaderboard. Okay, so if I go back to community, there's a package in here called Score Tracker. Okay, this is a really quick way of being able to sort of record and save a sort of a number or score to the user. So if I go here, we see I've got my user score tracker. So I go to my user, okay, and just drag that across. So that's basically just a script that comes for the user. If we just have a quick look at this script, okay, we see that we've got this property at the top, which is our score. And then a lot of this stuff may be familiar to people who have used sort of basic saving and loading logic, but all we're doing is loading the score, saving the score, and then we have this function here, which is to add the score. So what we need to do is we need to find somewhere in our game that's going to add or increment this number on the user. Okay, but before we do that, we just want to update this save score here to then tell our leaderboard that this is their new score, and therefore let's save that to the leaderboard. Okay, and there's just one API function we need to make the most of here. So if I go self get entity, so we are on the user, so you need to do this on the user or have access to the user entity itself. Okay, and if I just do that, so we see we've got the API that's appearing there, hopefully you can read that, where we can set the leaderboard value. Okay, and it needs a leaderboard name, which again is just that string that we've put in the other place that we defined on the companion site. It needs a value, so what is the score, what is the time, what is the number you're trying to save. And there's a second version of this API call, which gives you a callback. I'm not entirely sure what that callback provides, whether it's successfully saved or not, or whether it's just you might want to do some logic once the game's saved, but there's a callback there if you need it. I don't think we will in this case, so let's leave that as that. So let's define it here. So most money. Again, you could have a string property up here, so you could define the property, the leaderboard name and the properties here, and pass that through. But just for the case of this game, I know that my leaderboard is most money, so I'm just going to hard code that string there. And the number value that I'm going to save is my self.properties score. Okay, so anytime I save the score, I'm going to make sure I update my leaderboard at the same time. So now it's just a case of getting this add score function to be called from somewhere in my game to tell this script that the player's score has increased. And again, this is very specific to the sort of the logic I'm going for here. This may work fine with your logic, but it really just depends on the style of game, the style of leaderboard that you're going for. So let's have a look on the player. Okay, so we've got this shop view script. Okay, so if I open this script, this is quite a big complicated script, but I know that in here is a function that is called onSellItem. Okay, so I know that if this function gets called, the player's just sold an item. And here we have a line called add to inventory. So at this point, I know that the money is being added to the player's inventory. So I'm just going to add a second line here, which is basically going to zoom in here a little bit, I hope it'll be a bit easier. Okay, so I'm just basically going to lean on a similar approach here and just tell this new script that the player or that the user needs to update that count. So what have I got here? I'm on the player, so I can do self get entity get user. Okay, so as I said before, it needs to obviously pass this message to the user. Send to scripts. Oops. There we are, send scripts. Okay, and add score. Okay, and what we need to add is our the amount that we've just sold for. So we can see at the end of this line above, we have count multiplied by the sell price. Okay, so that's showing us, okay, well, we sold, in this case, let's say we sold one resource that sells for 10 coins. Therefore, we need to increment the count by 1 times 10. So we just take that a little bit of logic there. Okay, so what we've got now is we're going to increment our score by the right amount of coins. That should all now be ready and set up. So we see some points arriving on here. Base is coming along nicely. Do you think we're ready for a quick preview?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool.
See if it actually works.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, so see, I'm getting my own little base here. So as I mentioned earlier, you can see that my computer here is now full, and that's because that persistent save data in the background has determined that I've not played this game for long enough to see that that's now full. I'll collect that, and then that's going to start collecting again. Nice doors. I like how you've done those upside down. That's quite...
Yeah, I kind of wanted like an open top look to these bases.
That's cool. Okay, so what have we got? Most money earned, and it's a little bit small, but you can just about see in the middle it says no entries. So there's no scores
That
there
is
yet.
small.
It is quite small. Okay, but I'm going to sell all of my resources for 1,000. Right. So at this point, I've updated and I should have saved to my library. Sorry, to my leaderboard. So it did just update, but you'll see it did take a little bit of time to actually reflect those changes. I'll move this scoreboard down so you can actually read it a bit easier on stream, I think. But for what I can see from here, so it says I'm winning with 1,000, and Sean's there with 200. Okay, so let's just go and select 4 more. I'll sell those. Okay, and it still says I'm 1,000. And it'll take a little bit of time before it shows. And it's because this leaderboard has a kind of a wait before it actually checks again. And I'll show you in a moment how you can sort of decrease the time between checks. And obviously that will have an impact on performance. So you don't want to be checking every frame or two constantly. You might want to tweak the logic to make it so it only updates when someone saves. You know, that's quite a valid way of doing it. I think at the minute it's 60 seconds. There we go. So it's just updated. So Adam's now appeared on the leaderboard and mine is now gone to 1,400. So it's a little bit slow by default, but obviously that might be fine for your game. If you've got a race that's going to take players at least 5 minutes to complete, there's no point in updating the leaderboard until the end of the race. So it really just depends how you want to do it. Right, okay, I'm going to go back.
No, I was just about to...
I mentioned this actually in the previous stream, but this is a really fun starter game to work in because each time you go back to the editor to make some changes, you know that your game's ticking away in the background to then actually kind of go back and play in preview later on. So it's kind of a nice way of experiencing the game and get an idea of the balancing of the numbers that you've got into, like how much stuff sells for, how long it takes. It's a really quite a fun one to play with. Right, let's just move this down. Oops. So if one of you wanted to maybe make the shop area kind of bit nicer, a bit cooler, that'd be good.
Yeah, sure thing.
Go for it, Sean.
I am on it.
I've got a bit more to do on these bases.
Okay.
Before they look like convincing moon bases.
Well, my moon wall doesn't quite look convincing, but
it looks cool though.
That's good enough.
That's quite a lot. Quite a lot of detail, quite quick. Like it. Right. Okay. So what was I saying? Let's jump in here. So if we go back to the.
Sorry.
I thought you just turned it all to snow or something.
Supernova.
Okay. So if we go back to the leaderboard script, we'll see here at the top that we have a loop on init. So as soon as the game starts, this function will get called, or as soon as this leaderboard is created, this function gets called. And what we're doing is we're actually going to wait at the minute. We're going to wait 60 seconds before we update the leaderboard. So I think for the sake of this game, let's just decrease that to 5. So every 5 seconds is going to update. Now, as I said, that will have an impact on performance. So make sure you're not updating the leaderboard too often, or if it suits your gameplay, you can always look to remove this loop and then call update leaderboard every time someone sells an item. Maybe if you've got time, I'll jump in and have a look at that towards the end of the stream. I'll show you how to do that, but it should be straightforward enough. If you've got if you've used it Lua, or if you've got a little bit of an idea of how to do some of the coding, you could use an event, you could use all sorts of different things to get that update leaderboard to be called specifically when it needs to. Okay, so let's go on to the next bit. So that's our leaderboard setup, and as I say, that's our global leaderboard setup, so that will track across the game the top 10 players who have earned the most money. Next, I want to have a look at so we have the idea that kind of came in with the game of the currency and the sort of that basic shop. I thought what might be quite good is to look at a way that we can expand the shops, and I'm going to introduce a token basically, so something that you can buy from the shop and basically get it to appear and use it in different ways. So it just makes the Tycoon level a bit more interesting. So you could have some things that are only purchasable with tokens, some things that are only purchasable with the coins, and yeah, it starts to really get into the sort of foundations of how your Tycoon game will come together. So the easiest way to always do this, I think, is if you've got a one that works. So in this case, I've got currency. Okay, this kind of gives me what I want. It's not going to work as currency, this thing. It's going to be something that you actually have in your inventory. But it doesn't, you can still basically use it like currency. So in this case, let's break the link to the template. Okay, so what that will do is it will remove its link to that currency template and allow me to then change this however I like. So we'll go token. Okay, friendly name, we'll call it token. Let's check that it's not a currency, because we want to be able to buy it from the shop. And I guess you could set currency to be bought, but in this case I'll show you kind of how you can do it as not currency. It's icon asset. Let's go in and change that to one of the other colors. Let's go for the red one. Okay, so that's all we need. It's just basically a locator with this inventory item spec script. So this inventory item spec script is a really good way to just define what this thing is. And again, with no grip. So if I haven't set a grip, the player's not actually going to try and equip something when they have it. It's just a piece of data that can exist in their inventory. So let's create a new template called token. Okay, and then we can delete that one from the world because that's sort of stamped into the library now. So what I'll do is I'll show you how you can now add that to the shop. So the shop script, again, is quite straightforward. It's just a case of setting up the scripts on this vending machine. Firstly, you can change the shop name. So we can call this, we'll call this the Moon Rock Shop. Okay, allow sell. So whether it's going to allow players to sell things here, and obviously in a Tycoon game, that's what we want. We're also going to want to add a couple of extra scripts to this to allow us to be able to purchase things. So the first script you want to add, and again, all this comes with the starter game. Let me just see if I can find it. Shop page script. Okay, so the shop page script will define a tab in the shop view for everything you want. So you might want to split things off into separate pages. So you might have a page for tokens, a page for equipment, a page for upgrades, cosmetics, whatever. You can really start to craft and define your own shop experience here. Okay, but I'm just going to call this one buy. So you end up with a buy and sell page. Next thing I want to add is a shop by item script. Okay, so here, this is where I can define the item that you can buy from the shop. And the more of these there are, the more items that will be there for sale. So the first one, if I have a look for my token. Okay, so you're going to buy a token, you're going to get one. The currency you purchase them with is the currency there. Okay, buy price. So let's say it costs 10 coins to buy one token. Okay, and I think this sort of exchange idea is a good way of sort of perhaps slowing players down a little bit through a Tycoon game. You kind of have extra resources and extra things available. Sort of you work your way up through kind of copper, I guess, and eventually you could purchase silver, which gets you things that then help you to get gold. It's that sort of exponential increase through the game that you need to be thinking about. And I think that will do for now. So that should set that up for us to be able to buy that. So that should be ready. Oh wow, what is this thing?
Doing an orbital platform.
Nice.
Best way to sell your expensive apples.
Thought it was like some sort of huge hammer. That looks cool. Excellent. Right, what I'll do is I'm just going to go to preview on a new server, show people that. So if you're ever working collaboratively, and obviously that's a really fun, really great way to use Crayta, is to build together as a group. You might find that you've got kind of a couple of people who are trying to do environment building, or a couple of people who are coding. and you're all at different phases of development. So in this case, I'm quite keen to just jump in and test the shop. I don't want to disturb Adam and Sean while they're busy. So I think what I've done is I've basically gone to a separate version of the preview game. You will notice again, so it's taken me in exactly kind of as I was. There may be things that act a bit strange, and obviously we've just taken a snapshot of exactly what everyone was doing. Is this your? I guess this is your light beacon in the base, Adam.
It is indeed, because it spins, and most things I do end up spinning.
Yeah,
True. It's true.
that is the true hallmark. If it's got a big wall around it, it's a good chance Sean's involved. And
Yep.
if something's spinning with shadow lights, there's a good chance you're involved.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. I always tell people not to use shadow lights, and then make sure I use them loads.
Yeah, that's the way. Okay. So I see you've updated the resource as well, which is cool. So you'll
I was
notice.
about to say, have I?
Yes. Yeah. So do you want to just talk briefly about how you did that? I guess I think it's quite a straightforward change, isn't it?
Yeah, reasonably. So the resource as a template, I guess all the different resources that you might be able to create in your Tycoon game will each be a template. So if you go to the resource template through the library or through the world tree, you can, let's have a look at what's on it. You can essentially change some of the properties in the property window. So I've changed the name on it, which is the friendly name property, to Moonshard, and then the icon asset. You can actually update by dragging in basically any asset from the library. So I dragged in the alien rock mesh into there, and it takes the icon from that asset.
Cool. Yeah. So I think I did the same when I made the token. I dragged that red in, but as I say, that default resource being the apple. Obviously, a lot of people don't necessarily want it to be an apple, but it's just a case of, as Adam said, changing the name and the icon associated with it, and you've basically got whatever you like. Okay.
Sean, what are you building? What is this giant tower?
I'm sure it will be great.
Yeah.
It'll be amazing, Dory.
Cool. So you may have noticed when I went to the shop then, firstly, the shop name is updated. So press E to open the Moon Rock shop. Okay, so we get this extra tab now, which is the buy tab, and I've got these tokens. So if I buy 10 tokens, or buy for 10 tokens, okay, each time I spend 10 coins, I get 1 token. Okay, so I can now use that token however I'd like. I'd say this could be equipment for something. It could be, your Tycoon game requires players to earn currency to buy equipment, to mine physically. There's a lot of different ways we can take this. It's worth pointing out at this point with the global leaderboards. So you'll notice that it's essentially reset here. So Adam and Sean are gone, and my score is back down to 2,400, which is basically from this session. So when you're in preview, when you're in the editor, the global leaderboard doesn't actually save outside of the preview instance. It may be that you get, I think if you get back into preview quick enough, perhaps if you go back to the editor for only a few seconds to check something and go back to preview, it might still be there if the server was still up. But because I've previewed on a new server especially, you'll find that that's actually going to wipe there. So don't worry if it doesn't behave quite as you'd expect in the editor. The published version of the game, so the proper version of the game available through the play page, will obviously retain those scores. You may notice if you go to the console, you'll actually see there's a display here which explains that. So it says leaderboard data in preview is temporary. It will not affect the actual leaderboards and will not be saved beyond this session. So that's maybe one reason not to have the kind of the refresh on the leaderboard too frequent, because you'll get that message in your console quite a lot. Right, okay. So I press F5. I'll go back to the editor, see what the guys have been up to.
Oh no.
No, that's always good.
Oh no.
Oh, is this my? Oh, I see. You're going for like an orbital. So you sell it at the bottom, and then this thing will ship off your moon rocks on a sky lift. That's pretty cool.
We're going all sci-fi here.
Going all sci-fi. Needs more lights.
It does need more lights.
It does need more lights.
I know someone who does shadow casting lights really well.
I
Especially
mean, you
ones
only tick the box, Sean.
especially ones that spin and move. Okay, right. So I think the last thing I'll kind of show off in tutorial mode, and then I'll probably do a little bit of building to sort of help flesh the area out. But I'll show you how you can set up your own kind of buyables and updatables. So we had the idea that we've got the those desks, but I think what I'll do is I'm going to set up like a drill, something a bit different. And just like with the currency, I think again the best way to do this is to always work from a version that works. So let's drag in a buyable and an updatable. Okay, so buyable being the thing we buy, and updatable being the kind of working version of it. So for this one, first thing again, let's break that link, and I'll call this a Tycoon Buyable. We'll just call this Drill Buyable. Okay, and then there's a is this someone's already been through and updated all these messages?
Oh, I'm on it.
On it.
Didn't expect it to come through so quick.
Extract a license for rent. This is not your extraction hub. Cool. Okay. Someone's just broken all the areas.
What do you mean broken?
Got a lot of warnings appeared.
I have indeed broken it. Okay,
cool.
But I'm gonna unbreak it in a sec.
Very good. Right. So we want. So change the message here. So drill for rent. This is not your extraction hub. So extraction hub being the name of the area. Insufficient credits. So insufficient. Let's change that to tokens. I'm gonna have it so you buy these with tokens. Purchase this drill. The price, we'll make them cheap because we're going to use tokens for them. So let's say you have to buy 20 tokens. Okay, price currency template. So we're going to switch that across to our token. Okay, and our buy template, so the thing we buy, will be this thing here. But first, let's change the way it looks. And I know we've got a pretty good drill mesh. Should be just. I should probably search for it a bit quicker. Yeah, let's do that.
Little question, Rust. Are we going to have different types of slots that you can like pay for? So different types of mining things.
What? So they're not just all going to be this desk?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm setting up now. If you wanted to look,
okay, cool.
Just outside, you can see that I've just put one of them as this yellow coring drill.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to actually change them because I haven't used this template, but I'm setting up a few desks in the middle of the thing, which should be the upgraded one. So I'm sure we'll be able to change those over.
So the way it works is, I see, yeah. So it's you set up a slot. So you drag it, you drag the slot in, and then I think you just need to change the default template on that slot.
Oh, yep, I see.
So you change that to be, so basically I'll set a couple up, or if you leave, I'll set a couple of slots up in a minute. That'll be the drills. I think that's probably the best way to do that. Right, so we've got that one, but before I template that, let's go ahead and change our updatable to be the right thing. So let's break the link and set that to be drill updatable.
Now I'll fix the areas because you were whinging about it.
I mean, I wasn't, but the world tree definitely was.
Well, I kind of say you were whinging as well, but there we go.
Very good. Okay, so we've got the drill here, and we've got this UI screen. I guess we could add some sort of mesh that acts like a computer screen again, or we could, just hover this. This really is, it's kind of the freedom of creation. It really depends how you want to do it in your game. I'm just going to keep this one because it works quite nicely. We'll just stick that above. Like that. Okay. So that's almost all of that. There's a few messages here to change. This is not your, what do we call it, extraction hub. Okay, so the stock template, so I'll make a new resource for it in a moment. Stock 10, so that's all fine. Let's leave that as it is and template that up. So drill updatable. Okay, so you may get a warning message that appears there. Best thing to do, I think, if you just go to the template you just created, just check your trigger here. I think sometimes that could lose the link, so it's just a case of making sure that those warning triangles go away on the template there, and then that should fix that down here, but we can delete that one anyway. So we might see the same happen here. First, let's just change that. So we're buying the drill updatable when we purchase this. Go to template, drill buyable. Okay, so again, yeah, we see that warning triangle because the entity disappeared from on interact. I believe that's bugged up. But what we'll do is we'll go to the template and drag that back in there, fix it on the template, and then that one should be fine in world, but I can delete that. Okay, oh, this looks really nice in here now. Let's go to our Tycoon area and see what Adam is doing. Okay, so you've introduced some new slots.
I have. So there's the default 8, and then I've added 4 more around the center. 9, 10, 11, 12, I think.
Oh, okay, and they're all facing outwards, I see.
Yep.
Right, I might just change these back to, so slot 2 and 3. I'm gonna change them to be drills instead. And yeah, I think that I might just go to voxels, find that moon, and just put a bit of moon back on the floor underneath each one of them, so it makes a bit more sense. It's mining that little patch of moon. Feel free to decorate that however you'd like. So the last thing I want to do is just set up a new resource for the drills to actually get themselves. So we saw the drill at the moment, we'll still be getting that same resource as before. So again, let's go to templates. Let's have a look for our shop resource. Okay, so we can see that this is the one that Adam has changed to say Moonshard and have the alien rock. If I just break that link, and then I'm going to call this, let's call it Moon Rock. Okay, and then as well as meshes, you can also drag in voxel materials. So if I just drag this moon rock into the icon asset, it's actually going to show the same thumbnail as you see here in the library, which kind of works quite nice as that moon rock. So everything else should sit nicely. The sell price, let's say these sell for 200 coins each. Okay, and template that up. Moonrock resource. So let's delete that from the world, and then finally just go back to our drill updatable and change the stock template to be the Moonrock. Okay, so that's going to give us 10 Moonrock each time. But let's change the stock time actually. So this is actually going to take, let's say, 1:30 to give us anything. And stop. Okay, how are you guys looking for a quick preview?
Looking good.
Yeah, okay, let's go and preview. So switch back to full preview. Got a second to boot in. So, oh, this is looking really nice in here now. I like your UI changes there, Sean. Is that, which font's that? That seems to work really well.
That's Orbitron, which you can use on your UI.
Nice. Yeah, Orbitron's a really fun one, especially for this sort of environment. Cool. So that one's full. Let's collect that. I've got 15 tokens, so let's go ahead and see if I can buy a drill. Okay, so it says insufficient tokens for purchase. So it's checking against the tokens in my inventory and not my coins. Let's buy another extractor. So let's go back to the shop. Shop's a bit awkward to. Or can we interact with the shop anymore? Oh no!
I just changed the mesh to this disk thing.
Oh wait, I think you can.
God, what did you do?
It's just an awkward. There we go. It's a bit awkward with this with this orbit cam. I just jumped and interacted and mashed it, but yeah, we'll have a look at that in a sec. Okay, so I'm going to buy some more tokens.
Oh, right.
Okay, so I've got 44 tokens now. Should be enough for my drills. Awesome. Okay. There we can see that those are processing now. Is that like a scan line effect on the screens? That's really... Is that you as well, Sean?
Yeah.
Nice. They look extra computery now. Cool. So
this
hopefully...
is looking pretty cool.
It is looking really cool, yeah. We often surprise ourselves with this sort of thing, but I think it's just testament to how cool this Sci-Fi pack is and how quick and easy it is to really make some nice environments.
I like how with the slightly lowered gravity I've on, you can jump into people's stuff now. Surprise!
So is that So that's a really fun way. Do you want to just explain how you've done that?
Okay, so that's on the player template, you can set the jump height multiplier to simulate low gravity on players' jump. So
yeah, it's a really
because now it's gone from 1 to 1.5, so now you can hop around everywhere like on the moon.
Yeah, it's a really nice little trick to just sort of make it look extra floaty. And okay, let's see if I can. There we go. Interact. Okay, so to sell, you can now see that I've got a bunch of moon shards and my new moon rock. Cool. So hopefully that's given you an idea of sort of some of the kind of quick, easy, fun ways that you can expand the Tycoon. Let's go back to editor. So anything else we want to finish off and build in here? I think that was most of my list. Yeah, of things I was going to add. So as I say, that should hopefully give people enough of an insight as to how to change all the individual little bits to make some sort of pretty cool Tycoon stuff. So obviously let us know in chat if you've got any more questions, but yeah, have you guys got anything you wanted to maybe add and I can help out with?
I want to add a nice screen to the shop. Do that.
Nice. Oh, I see it like an in-world thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder why that
UI everywhere.
Yeah, wonder why that wasn't interacting. I think what we'll do, if you find you're having trouble with that, I think one trick would be to go to the shop and maybe change it to be trigger based. Might be one way to do it.
Oh yeah.
Or if you go your player template, if you wanted to change the camera, you can change camera type from orbit to action. Okay, and that might give you a slightly better control for interacting with the shop. So it really just depends how you want to approach the game and how you want players to sort of interact with the world and the environment itself. I'm at 8 o'clock. Okay, so we'll probably wrap this up in the next few minutes, and then we'll go in and sort of discuss the game jam before we end this evening's stream. So I think chat's looking pretty quiet tonight. So not sure we've got too much in the way of suggestions from there. Adam, have you got anything you're working on you want to hand with, or?
I'm just kind of decorating the pods a little bit more.
Sprucing things up.
Indeed. Oh, we should add some of the light trees that I talked about.
The alien trees.
Yes. They look very nice.
Yeah, I'll go do that.
Has the jam officially started? It has not yet. Not just yet, has it?
Not yet. No, I think it kind of. I think it technically starts at sort of 8 o'clock. But obviously until we announce the theme, there's not a whole bunch to do. So it's we'll announce it soon. We'll start soon.
Yeah, I think chat's quiet because they're all just waiting with a notepad and a pen ready to hear the theme. Like, what is it? Come on!
Everyone's sick of this game. Right. I'm just going to place a couple of these trees. But yeah, so one nice thing you can do with these trees especially is, however, they look amazing already. They're really quite cool. It's like sort of interesting trees. adding lights to them is actually a really nice way to just kind of make them pop a bit more in the environment. So I think this one especially, it's got these nice big purple kind of domes on them. So you create a child light and then just sort of position those up like that. So you probably want to pull the attenuation in quite a bit, so it's just the sort of surrounding area that's capturing that light. Maybe quite intense, so you make sure the light gets caught sort of all the way up the branches. Lower the exponent, so again that light travels a little bit further, and then again it's a color, so it's always good to try and match the mesh, that makes quite a bit more sense. It looks like it's genuinely shining this light out. Okay, and then you can just copy and paste that light, stick that up on another one, and then yeah, so we instantly get this nice effect. Obviously you want to be careful you don't have too many lights, so if you do go with this this sort of lighting on your trees, don't then add thousands of trees with 3 lights on each sort of thing. But it's just a nice way to decorate some of the lights in your scene, perhaps in the areas that players are going to see the most.
Do you want me to make yours a template, Russ?
Yeah, can do. But yeah, see Adam's gone through and done these ones. So again, just having a light in the center of this sort of those 3 spokes at the top just kind of really pulls out that pink color. And then similarly here, just having one light, I think on this one, just between these branches, again, just kind of pulls out those highlights and makes them look extra nice. And then template those up. And
cover the world in them.
Let's get my tree. Okay, and yeah, let's stick a bunch out in the world.
You just told people not to place thousands, and now we're probably going to place
well, yeah. I think you're okay. I mean, again, especially if they're not shadow casting, I'd refrain from doing shadow casting if you can. Let's go with that. Okay, we've not done a whole bunch of balancing in here, but what I'll probably do, I might just publish this game anyway and get people to jump in. It's always nice when people get to see the game, and then go play it. And then once we're playing it, we'll kickstart the game jam at that point. So. Do you want to jump out, you guys, and once you're done, and then we'll. Are you done, Sean?
No, that's fine.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Shall we quickly just try with the different camera to see if we need?
That's a good point, actually. Yes, I'm going to hit play now.
I decorated. Oh, we should add fog before we finish. Fog always makes it look really alien.
It does, yeah. Oh, you moved the doors down, thank God.
Oh, yeah, so you can actually walk over the edges now.
Oh, yeah, that works now.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so it's a lot easier to interact with that shop. I just saw mine. Mine says username on one side and Russ on the other.
Yeah, I added 2 signs, but I couldn't work out the logic that was actually set in the name. So okay. I wasn't sure if 2 signs would work or not.
Let's remove the other one.
Yeah.
The username.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't notice these. I need to.
Okay, there's a couple of things I need to do.
Okay, well I'll have a look at adding some fog now.
That would be nice.
So fog happens in the world settings. So you got this override fog option. I can see the guys have already made a few changes here. But we want to add in some fog. So first thing you probably want to do, all I always like to do is just pull these first 2 right down, and then add a little bit of density. I say a little bit, quite a lot. But then you get, instant an idea of sort of the level of where everything is, and then start to work these ones back up. So fall off, we want that to probably be much lower, so it's sort of sitting in the ground. Probably all the way down actually. So it's like these craters get full. I don't know, you're a bit of a fog expert, Adam. I think you always like to make the fog.
It's nicer to pull the start distance right in. Oh, you just pushed it out again. I like pulling it right in.
That's right
so
in.
That there's no sort of edge to it.
Yeah,
it's quite nice.
The fall off.
Fall off. Yeah, you probably want it coming up over the trees a little bit. So probably not quite. Well, I think we're both changing it at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's quite cool. But then maybe even less. But we'll reduce the density a little bit.
Okay. I can see you changing that while I'm here in basic mode. Yeah, I think that looks quite good. It doesn't obscure the view too much and makes things look
Alien.
Nice. How about like a cold blue? Yeah, that sort of color. I think that looks quite nice. It's nice how these craters get extra foggy as well. I think that works quite nicely.
That is cool. If it wasn't for the name tag, we'd have lost you then.
Yep, forever. Okay, so I think we're happy. Let's just do one final preview.
Oh, Sean went in and ruined my username widget. He took off the text shadows and the gradient.
Oh,
Sean, it looks terrible. What have you done?
That works. Let's gather these things. Okay, that's working. Fog looks good. Okay, awesome. Right, I think that's all working, so that's good. Okay, so if you guys wanted to jump back to the hub, I'll just get this game published and we'll jump this in.
Okay.
Chuck a link into chat. So if you want to publish, again, publishing is kind of all pretty quick, and Crayta is a self-publishing platform, so any games you publish can be played instantly. Okay, so a Tycoon game set on a moon made on stream. Okay, so we're going to keep the same thing. Let's look at tags, and obviously tags are sort of extra important now. That part of the update we just released is that players can search through the play page via tags. So you tag your game up, tag it with the right stuff, and players will be able to find your game if they're looking for that style of game quite easily. So what have we got here? It is, I'd say, probably exploration, futuristic, set on an alien planet. Let's have a look. Parkour platformer. Relaxing. I'd say it's pretty relaxing.
Yeah. Not when you're making it and Sean goes changing your widget.
Yeah. Yeah. Sandbox. It's got a sandbox element to it in that I think you obviously choose the order in which you things. There's a lot of freedom to it. Terraforming. Let's leave it at that. I think those three will do. Okay, so let's publish that. So if anyone is ready in Crayta right now, you should see any moment now that is available to be played on the play page. If I just go in. Oh, I just thought one thing. I always forget to do this.
Oh no.
What have you done?
Let's set it to 4 players. Oh, it is already set to 4 players max. That's fine. I guess that's part of the starter game. Does that? So obviously it is only for 4 players because there's only 4 areas. I probably could introduce more areas and increase the player count. That'd be straightforward enough to do. But look, so if I go down, so Moon Miners is here on recently updated. Let's go ahead and play, and I'll get that share link. Any second now. Okay, so here we are in the full published version. Let's go ahead and create a share link. Okay, so there we are. There's a link available there. If you're quick, you'll probably get into this specific instance. If you're not, don't worry. You can join. Here. Yeah, you will get thrown into a different instance. There we are. There's a link in chat of the same game. I can see Adam's here with me. Good game. Oh yeah, quick chat. Hello. Right, I need to get my first extractor going. Cool. Yeah, I think we've done a good job here. I think this is looking really nice. Who's appeared up here? So this is Dry Coast. So, hey, Dry Coast. I assume you're in chat, and that's Adam. And I think we're still waiting on.
Sean's here, so we're full.
We're full.
I backed out because someone else's space.
Oh,
that's very kind. Right, I'm gonna go sell something, get myself on the leaderboard. See if I can be the first person in the world on this leaderboard.
On this moon.
Oh, I'm trying to buy stuff.
No.
Did it? Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm first. I win. Cool. Very good. Okay. All right. Well, I'll leave these leave people to play that. So that is Moon Miners. That's available now to play. It gives you a good taste of what you can create, especially in such a short space of time. Say we've been building that for just over an hour. And pretty cool, interesting idea. Quite different to the starter game that we began with. So okay, right. What I'll do is I'm just gonna go back to full webcam, but I'll leave you guys on chat so you can sort of talk as well about the game jam. So, okay, so probably the bit that everyone's been waiting for the last half an hour or so. It's time to kick off the Sci-Fi game jam. So, as I said, there's a few details here. So this time, obviously, we're kicking it off right now, but we are running for a little bit longer than last time. So the jam is going to be running until the 14th of September. So you've got a bit more time to work, but obviously we still do have that end point. So same rules as before. Obviously, once we reach that end point, make sure your games are all published and submitted on the Game Jam page, which I think if anyone's got that available, good if you could throw that into chat now. But yeah, so if you can make sure you've got your submissions in on time, and then don't do any updating of the game until the voting closes, and voting will close on the 18th of September. So there'll be a few days there for people to play the games and get an idea, which one their favorite is. Head back and do all the voting for your favorites. The idea here, obviously we're looking to kind of get a whole bunch of games ready sort of alongside our sci-fi pack. So it'd be great, obviously, if people could use as much of the sci-fi stuff as possible. The theme for this game jam is conundrum. Okay, so the word conundrum, and the reason we've gone for that, or part of the reason, is obviously it's kind of quite open. It gives a lot of players a lot of freedom to really sort of explore that idea of what they'd like to sort of do with that. It's worth noticing that the next issue of the comic will be arriving next week, and that issue is actually called Conundrum. So feel free to explore the comics, and especially keep your eyes out for the comic dropping next week. Maybe that'll give you some inspiration and some ideas behind the theme of Conundrum. But yeah, so Nat's got it there in chat. Conundrum. Okay. What else do I need to make sure I don't miss off from this? Let's see. I think that was everything. If I missed anything, you guys?
That sounds about right.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Oh, there is one thing actually. I knew there was something.
Oh.
I knew there was something. So the reason, as I say, so we want to get a bunch of these games together. So we have a good array of pretty cool sci-fi games ready for when the sci-fi season actually begins. So the sci-fi season proper begins. So obviously before we had our summer jam, or our summer season. So the sci-fi season will be beginning on the 23rd of September. Obviously what we'd like to do is get a whole bunch of these games made, and it'd be really cool to get them all there ready and celebrated for when the season starts later in September. So you can keep an eye out. Obviously there'll be all sorts of different things coming out alongside that season, so all the cosmetics and the various things that run in our seasonal content. So yeah, pretty exciting times. So hopefully that's given everybody enough information to see kind of what they want to do with this conundrum idea, and it'd be really exciting. I say a little bit longer to work on it, so it'd be really cool to see what sort of stuff people can come out with. So thanks, Adam and Sean. I kept you here, and then I didn't let you say anything. But I don't know if you have any thoughts or remarks on the game jam.
No, you've done
everything.
Watch the video and the resource you put out for the first jam, I guess.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Sean made a really good video about sort of a survival guide to game jam. So yeah, definitely go and check that out. I don't know if the mods have that link handy, but if not, just have a flick through our YouTube channel. I'm sure it's there somewhere.
Do make sure to catch up with the comic as well for inspiration on this theme, particularly as it's got the same name as the third issue of the comic.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I think it's a really sort of valuable sort of source of knowledge and information around Crayta. It's a really interesting read. But as I say, yeah, there's some good stuff there, definitely from a sort of inspiration point of view. So cool. Thanks, Sean and Adam, for building this pretty fun game with me, and I'll catch up with you guys later.
No problem.
See ya.
Okay, cool. So make sure you do subscribe to us here on YouTube. We've got all sorts of content planned for the future, and obviously we've got quite a library built up in the background now. So a lot of these sort of game creation streams, tutorials, various fun gameplay sessions and stuff. So there's a lot of content there to check out. So if you are new, make sure you do subscribe and set up your notifications to get notified as to when we are going to be live and release videos. So a lot of on-demand content as well. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Crayta Game. So they're really good platforms to keep up with all the latest news and gossip around the world of Crayta, especially when it comes to things like the comics. So Instagram's a really good place to keep up with all that sort of visual aspect of the Crayta universe. And finally, head over to discord.gg/Crayta. It's a really good way to keep in touch with the devs. So we're pretty active over there. We do a lot of sort of chatting with the community, working together, solving problems, kind of promoting each other's games. So if you've got a game you've made and you want to get a bunch of people playing it, we've got all those sorts of channels in place to find a group of people to play with. So yeah, a lot of stuff there, a lot of reasons to join Discord. So make sure you head over there. That's discord.gg/Crayta. All the links were on the sort of join the stream were down at the bottom. And I think all the mods will be throwing those sorts of things into chat now. So I think the only thing left for me to say is good luck, have fun, do try your best to collaborate with everyone. It's a really fun time during the game, jump together in a group and start sort of working on these projects together. But obviously do take your time, take plenty of breaks, drink plenty of water, and don't burn yourselves out. And yeah, can't wait to see what everyone can create. So we'll see you next week.